The Achiote miracle will change the way you barbecue. Now, Achiote is, this is Achiote Paste actually. It's made from crushed annatto seeds from the Yucatan in Mexico. And what it does to food, particularly barbecue food, seriously, it's absolutely miraculous. For example, these chicken leg quarters, you're thinking, not the greatest part of the chicken. Believe me, when you eat the chicken leg quarters prepared with with Achiote marinade, they're going to taste better than breast or thighs barbecued any other way. If you don't believe me, try it, and I'm going to show you how you can very, very easily make the marinade from the Achiote. And by the way, Achiote, it's very easy to get. I got this at Walmart. It's only $1.48 for a box of this, and I'm only going to use half the box for the marinade. So basically, out of pocket about 74 cents. Or you could probably find it at almost all of the Spanish groceries. So, in just a few minutes, I'm going to barbecue this chicken leg quarters using the Achiote marinade. By the way, when we're done, you're going to see, even before you eat it, you're going to see a big difference. These chicken legs, they're red now. It's going to be a very dark red color, unlike any barbecue chicken you've done by any other method. And so it's a very easy process. I'm going to show you how. I have a recipe below. But the one step before we marinate the chicken with the Achiote is brining, dry brining, which just is a fancy way of saying putting salt on a chicken. So let's take a little time trip back to 2 days ago, and I'll show you how it's very, very easy to dry brine this chicken, and then we're going to go to yesterday when I prepared the marinade. So let's take the time travel trip. Woo! We're back to 2 days ago, and we're about to start the brining process. Don't let that word brining process throw you. It's just a fancy way of saying putting salt or putting kosher salt on the chicken. Now, the only thing is, I use kosher salt. Use kosher salt. Use 1 tablespoon of kosher salt. And, I got to get some more of this. And for flavor, I put in 1 teaspoon of crushed thyme. So I mixed them all together here, as you can see. And on the chickens, and by the way, these chickens' leg quarters, each one of them, I washed off and I patted dry. So here, let me show you. I'm just going to show you on one of these here. It's very simple. Very simple. You just, now the secret here is on the brine, how much salt to use. Put about as much salt on the chicken that you would normally eat. Don't put any more on there, because what's going to happen is you're just going to leave it on there. That's the salt you're going to use to taste in your chicken. Now, the kosher salt is a little bit less salty than regular salt, so you won't oversalt. Just be careful not to just completely coat it in salt. Otherwise, it'll be too salty. Just lightly. By the way, for this chicken to properly brine, it only takes a little bit of the salt. Now, what you want to do is you want to put it on the skin, but also, guess what? Just put it under the skin as well. So you put a little bit under the skin, rub it in on that side. Like I say, it doesn't take much salt to work its magic. What's going to happen is, over the next 24 hours, this salt is going to draw the juices from within the chicken to the surface. It'll form, if you take a look, like after a day or after a few hours, little droplets are going to form on the surface there. That's the brine, and it'll be reabsorbed back into the chicken. And what you do is, I'm going to do it to all four of the chicken leg quarters here. Okay, all the chicken leg quarters have been brined, and all I'm going to do now is just let it sit in the refrigerator for one day. And as it sits there, oh, you don't need to cover it. Just the air. It's fine to leave it uncovered. And then the brining process will take place. So, and as I said, just all you need is just 1 tablespoon of kosher salt and 1 teaspoon of crushed thyme for flavoring. And by the way, if you don't happen to have crushed thyme, go ahead and just use kosher salt. That's fine too. So I'm going to see you guys in one day, which through the magic of time travel will be just a few seconds from now. Poof! It's the next day, and here is everything that you need to make the Achiote marinade. That's going to completely change not only the chicken, but guess what? You can use it on beef, you can use it on pork, and all kinds of seafood like fish and shrimp, etc. So here's what you need. 3 oranges. And by the way, if you want to substitute grapefruit, that's okay, or pineapple juice. 2 limes, 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, 1 teaspoon of cummin, 1 teaspoon of peppercorns, ground peppercorns, you're going to grind them, 3 cloves of garlic, and the most important thing of them all, you're going to use 1/2 of this box of achiote. You're just going to cut. I got a whole block of achiote in here. You're going to use half of that. So let's get started. I've added all the ingredients. Just got done. You want to, by the way, with the garlic, you want to crush that and mince it. You know, in one of these garlic crushers. So, and then I just added it in. Now here's the most important element of them all. Obviously, it's the achiote, but you don't want to use the whole block. And by the way, these things are rather inexpensive. I got this one at Walmart. It was $1.48. So basically, since I'm only going to use half of this, it's basically I'm using what? 74 cents. 74 cents of achiote. So, by the way, with all these ingredients together, I don't think it even adds up to $2. But so then the other thing you want to do is you want to cut. See here, just cut 1/2 block. Put the rest back. Save it for later. Now, one thing, you want to be careful. In fact, what you want to do is you want to do it in a t-shirt, an older t-shirt, because the reason why is this once it gets in a liquid, especially, it can stain your clothes. So you want to just use an old t-shirt or something. Just be careful, and then just kind of crush it in there, as so. And this is what's going to really work its magic on your whatever you're going to cook, whether it's chicken or anything else. By the way, you don't even have to barbecue. I used it recently on a steak that I cooked in the oven, and it definitely improved it over just without using achiote. So you crush it in there. Now you could use a blender to mix it, but you know what? Here. Just give it a good stirring. It's good enough. If you want to use a blender, go ahead and use the blender. And now look, you see that? I don't know if you can see. Yeah, it's got that deep, it's hard to see because the container's red, but it's got that deep red color. And as I said, it will stain, so be careful when handling it. Don't be doing this in your best clothes. The next step is very simple, is to coat it on the chicken, to marinate it overnight. So let's go ahead and do that. Here's the chicken leg quarters that have been in the refrigerator brining overnight. And yeah, I definitely see it. They're definitely different. The salt has worked its magic. It's changed the chemistry of the interior of the chicken. So this is gonna make it nice, keep it nice and juicy when I barbecue it tomorrow. So now the next step is, it's very easy. It's just to take that marinade, that Achiote marinade I just made, and just very simply coat the chicken in it. Now here's what you need to do though. Okay, that's all. There's going to be more than enough marinade here, believe me. And now here's what you do. You place the chicken leg quarters in a Ziploc bag. This will hold at least 2. Actually, it could hold 3. And what you do is that any excess, when you're done coating your chicken, just any excess, and there will be excess, you just pour it into the bags, and you'll have even more marinade working its magic. The Achiote marinade. This is really going to make a big difference. So, and by the way, I want you all to try the same thing, and let me know how it worked out for you. But I think you're going to notice a big difference. So now for each of the, okay, so now I got 2 coated here, and then all you got to do is this. When you're done, although, you know what, I'm going to open this up again. I'm not going to zip. When you're all done, I'm going to put more marinade in later, but when you're all done, just seal it up and leave it in the refrigerator overnight. So, okay, I've got all 4 chicken leg quarters in 2 Ziploc bags. So what I'm going to do now, there's plenty of marinade left over, so guess what? Gonna put the leftover marinade here, half in this bag here, and then what you do is just kind of try to squeeze out most of the air and seal it up, and you're going to store it overnight. It's going to be tomorrow. Let it marinate overnight, and tomorrow it'll be ready. The only other thing I'll need to do is, if you want to, you don't have to, but I like to put some, you can put a rub on there just before you get ready to barbecue it. You don't have to, as I said, the Achiote gives it a really good flavor, but I think in my case, I like garlic, so I'm gonna use a rub of garlic powder and New Orleans Cajun seasoning. All right, I put both of the Ziploc bags in a tray just to keep it, just if in case there's any leakage, it'll just go into the tray and not into my on my refrigerator shelf. And I'm going to put it in here. I'm going to leave it overnight. One thing though is before this evening, I'm going to turn it around and let that marinade distribute a little bit more in a different direction. And I'm going to turn it over again once more tomorrow morning. Now, what I'm going to do is about at least an hour before I start barbecuing, I'm going to take the chickens out of the refrigerator just to let it get down as close as possible to room temperature. It's a good idea, actually, with most food that you barbecue. And as I said, I'm going to be using a rub. In addition, you don't have to, but that's me. I won't add that rub until just before I start barbecuing. So the next time I'll see you, we'll be back in the time frame where we started. All right, and now it's time to actually barbecue my Achiote chicken. Now, what I did was I have a line of coals on each side of the barbecue. In the center, that's where I'm going to smoke it after I'm done searing. This is the searing process. On each side, right over the direct heat of the coals, I'm going to sear the chicken for approximately up to 4 minutes on each side. Now I say up to because when you have the skin side down, yeah, see, it's already starting. The flare-ups, there's flare-ups. So the whole purpose here is to sear the chicken. So if there's flare-ups, I'll end up, I'll probably end up just searing it for a couple of minutes, and then on the other side, I'll let it go to full 4 minutes. The reason why I don't want the flare-ups hitting the chicken on the skin side too long is because I want to maintain that beautiful color that's going to result when this is all smoked. It's going to be a nice, deep, dark red, rich red color, and so that's the purpose. So, if I can go 4 minutes and it doesn't flare up too much, fine. Otherwise, if I can only do it for a couple of minutes, that's fine too. And I made it to about 3 minute mark on the searing. That's good enough. See, I don't want to sear it, over sear it. Maybe I did a little bit too much. That's okay. It'll be fine. Here. And then on this side, I should be able to go to full 4 minutes. There's no skin, well, or very little skin on the bottom here. And then when I'm done here, I'm going to just put them in the middle and smoke them for 30 to 40 minutes, at 350 degrees. I'll probably go to full 40 minutes because don't worry about overcooking them. I mean, as long as you don't go overboard on that. But the reason why is it's going to retain its juiciness. I want to avoid any mushiness. There's a difference between mushiness and juiciness, I know. And I'm very fussy. I'm extremely fussy about my barbecue chicken. Barbecue chicken, I'm probably more fussy about that than anything else. If it's the least bit mushy, I hate it. But this won't be. It's going to be solid inside, and yet it's going to retain its juices, and the flavors are going to be unbelievable. So what I'm going to do now is just allow this to direct heat, sear the chicken for a total of 4 minutes, and then it goes into the middle. Okay, I have this on a direct heat for another 4 minutes here, so now it's time for the smoking process. And I should have a temperature of about 350 degrees. As I said, you can do anywhere from 30 to 40 minutes. I'm going to go for the upper limit just because I want to avoid the mushy. Now, one thing I'm going to do here is on each side, I'm going to put a little block of cherry wood. Gives it a nice sweet flavor while it's smoking. And remember, I added a garlic powder and New Orleans Cajun seasoning for the rub. You can use any rub you like, or guess what? You can use no rub. It's still going to taste fine. And now, put the old lid on, and I'll be back in 40 minutes. The chicken has been smoking for just about 40 minutes now, and let's check her. I'm hoping we got that deep red color. Oh yeah! Yeah, that deep, dark red color. Oh my God. That's almost like a signal telling you this is going to taste absolutely incredible. And now for my favorite part, in just a few minutes, the eating of the chicken. I'm going to text. The big thing for me is taste and texture, especially texture. Because as I said, I hate mushy chicken, and yet I'm also not crazy about dry chicken either. So I need that very good balance that Achiote always seems to provide. Let's hope this does it again. We'll see. Now to check and take a look and see how the texture is. As I said, texture to me is really, really important. But it's got to be juicy as well, not dry. So here, let's, here. It looks good. Nice and solid. Can you see that? It's solid, not mushy. I hate mushy. Now, like I said, don't confuse mushy with juicy. It's two different things. So now, this is the most important part. Yeah, it looks good, but how does it taste? Mmm. Mmm. Actually, it's the first time I used New Orleans seasoning on a chicken. I think I'm going to have to do so in the future. Incredible. Incredible. As I said, I smoked this for almost 40 minutes. I didn't overcook it. It's nice and solid, and the best of all, it is juicy, not mushy. Not mushy, which I hate. I really detest that. Here, let me try another piece. Oh my God. There. By the way, even without seasoning, or even without the rub, it's going to taste great. But try it for yourself. I'm telling you, once you barbecue, and by the way, it's not just chicken. You can barbecue steak, pork, all kinds of seafood, fish, shrimp, etc. And you know what? You don't even have to barbecue. If you cook in the oven, it's still going to be a vast improvement over any other way of cooking in the oven. This is just absolutely incredible. So start off with, you know what? Start off with the chicken leg quarters, because that's the part everybody goes, not too crazy about. Believe me, you'll be crazy about it when you cook with the achiote. Now, do me a favor. I want you all out there to give it a try. I have the recipe and instructions below. I've showed you how you do it. It's very easy, also inexpensive. And let me know in your comments how you liked the chicken when you use the what I call the Achiote miracle, or marinating in the achiote. I'll see you guys later, and bon appetit.